People, it's your boy Vin in the house.
Sori here.
And we are about to do some
Imminence.
Spiritbox, Imminence.
Bad Omens.
It's about to go down, dear listener. It's about to go down.
The big homie Chad, DJ Chad, is our DJ.
Yes, DJ Chad is our DJ. And
Has
we're
anybody ever
waiting.
seen these? They're breath savers, but when we were kids, we found out that if you take one in the bathroom where it's dark and you use a wrench and you squash it, it makes like a sparky blueness.
Oh,
It's very weird. I told the
concerning.
children we'll try it later. I know. Now let me pop one in my mouth.
yes, I know it's been doom watching the news, and we, dear listener, are your escape.
I know. I keep crying every time I look at them. This is so sad.
Yes, absolutely terribly sad. So,
Hey, what's up, River?
It is time. It is time to, what is it? It means no worries for the rest of your days.
Yeah. Hakuna Matata.
It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
And we have Spiritbox. I mean, doesn't get better than that. Tweedledum. Oh no. I'm gonna email him right now.
No, don't email him. He's on the way. He's on the way. Unbelievable. What a world we're in. Medication!
I'm pretty sure he's gonna come up with his full name on there. So
Inshallah. Inshallah. That'll save your life.
yep. I think my subconscious knew it was okay.
You jealous heart.
All right, we have
We have a
Chasing
two-parter.
Shadows.
We have a two-parter from the band Imminence.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. We got a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah. How's everybody doing today? Are we doing well? How do I can never figure out how to download this.
What's
so I
up,
have to screenshot it.
Yusuf? I stopped watching the news. Yep, I bet.
Yeah.
Paj Mahaj. If the world is ending, we're gonna end it rocking, dear listener. We're gonna end it rocking and rolling, gang, gang. So that's gonna be fun, guys. What?
What is this? Oh boy. All right. I'm gonna make a creative thumbnail for the big homie.
You're
In the
doing a
meantime-
creative thumbnail for who? For Chad?
Mm-hmm. For Chad up. Where is Chad? Chad, where are you? Show up so you can vindicate me.
Dan's going to see him in Seattle. Best reaction channel on YouTube. I agree, Vlad. I agree.
Oh my gosh, River, no sleep for 2 days?
He's got family in Eastern Europe.
You do?
He's got family in Poland. He's got family in Poland. It's okay, buddy. Inshallah, everything will be well soon, inshallah. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're just going to Hakuna Matata
Our
through
way
this
through
bitch.
this whole day.
We're going to Hakuna Matata our way through this bitch. Yes, sir, Bob.
Yep.
Yes, sir, Bob.
Background color. Do it. Stop fooling around.
What are you guys doing today, aside from listening to some good metal and doing whatever you can to promote world peace and not push forward violence? My prayers go out to everybody for Ukraine. For show, Padge. For show, buddy. Dwayne's working. We're working too,
actually,
although I don't
also
really
is
consider this work.
Chad is also working.
Oh yeah,
He works from home, so
that's
he said
right.
he'll tune in.
The big homie. So Chad, as soon as you pop in, bro, and give us a green light, we'll get right into it. Maybe you can message the homie as well.
Well, I was about to, and you said don't do that. You don't believe it? Guess what? This whole thing was recorded, bitch.
Well, I'm not disputing that.
Yes, I'll email him very soon here.
Philosophy. You know, I was thinking about watching that Serrano, whatever that thing was.
What's that?
With the dude from Game of Thrones. Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
It's a musical.
So?
Yeah, I guess I'll watch it, but
I want to see it still.
I'm
not like much into musicals either, but
I can't stand musicals.
I like
Johnny in the house.
I like
Netherlands
that.
in the house.
I like that guy. I feel like he didn't let something stop him. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And he plays respectable roles. Like,
Steven, send me a email with your stream about Ukraine. I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts, inshallah. Musicals are great, Vin. Well, you may think musicals are great. I don't necessarily think so.
I don't either. I don't like musicals usually. Although, if we're in that play, isn't it a musical?
No.
Excellent.
That's
I just
right.
wish it was, I wish there was some evil characters. I want to play an evil
Who
character.
did you take? Penelope, Phoebe?
No, it's either Penny or Alice.
Well, listen. I think this will kind of be your audition. I think you're going to be a smash hit. And then after that, I'm sure you'll be able to star as an evil character somewhere.
That's what I want. That's more fun.
I'd like to be like a horrible duo.
Yeah.
Like me and you do a
I
horrible
know.
duo.
And I feel like that's going to be so...
You know what? If they did Macbeth, can you imagine?
Yeah, but would they do that? Oh, the other one was like that.
What do you mean?
That's true. The other one that was Macbeth was, yeah, I would love that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who did Macbeth?
No, I just feel like because we're interracial, the amount of plays that we can be in together as a couple is going to be few and far between.
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
No, because the artistic community is very progressive. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
The thespian community. Thespians are very progressive. So...
I was like, Chad,
we'd be able to rock. We'd be able to rock. Is that him?
Yeah, I said, ready?
Are you ready?
Any second now, he's going to pop in here. Yes, Dwayne, I know you didn't notice because people don't see color anymore.
No, we would be the poor man's new Macbeth because they had Denzel and that white lady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be...
all our haters would be like, I knew it! I told you that bitch was evil! I told you!
Yeah, exactly.
I told you!
Oh, God. Oh, God. All right.
Yeah, it'll be great. You got the, I would have to be the Denzel character.
Yeah.
I feel like I could play the Macbeth character, though. I've got a lot of, there's been a lot of overlap between me and the homie, actually.
Oh, I'm sure. I could do that, evil woman.
I don't think I would win the role, but I think you would win the role. But I don't know.
I would say we are.
I don't know.
We're a package deal.
I don't know if I'd win the role.
What do you think? What do you think my favorite line would be?
Where she talked about putting the venom in her junk.
No.
Unsex me now. That one. Yeah, that's the line. And right
Yeah,
after
but
that,
that's
she said,
the part.
Oh.
The way she says it with such I'm like, okay, yeah, we could do that.
Vin could play a great John Lennon. I agree. Uh-oh, look at all these people wanting to join MA. Uh-oh. I'm about to make them all leave after I do this next video, though.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, get me out of this horrible atrocity. Perkinos in the house. Gang.
Wait, Chad, wherefore art thou?
Wherefore art thou, Chad? Oh, you practicing your Hamlet? You know, as I'm saying, we should do a short where you do that.
Oh yeah.
You should memorize that shit. We should do a short where you do that, and then the other one where he says bear only male children, because she's so horrible.
Doesn't he come close to her face too when he says it?
Well,
you think he's gonna kiss her, but then he says that.
It's all in the way. Like it's not directed that way. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, it's whatever.
It all depends on what the actor does in the moment. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like I'd have to be the Macbeth character because y'all be in the middle of play. I'm like, oh, I'm about to stop you right there, my nigga. Hold up.
Yep.
About to get real toxic and masculine here. Get your hands off my girl.
That's why I was surprised that you would be
Smack
fine
shit
with
out.
me being Alice.
Alice.
Yeah, in the play.
I never said I was fine with you being Alice. What you
said
mean?
I could be either Alice or Penny.
No, I said Phoebe or Penny.
No, you said it was Alice or Penny. Those
No,
are the two.
I specifically asked Nikisha. I said, is the girl with anyone?
Well, you're with someone in the play.
Yeah, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Thing.
It's different because it's you.
No, it's different because I'm not doing anything with Shorty.
No,
But
there's
if
no
it was
kissing.
Macbeth.
No.
what
I'm
I'm
talking about
saying?
the other play. There's no kissing. I could be either Alice or I could be Alice's mom. That's the two parts.
War and peace. I take it to the streets.
I think
land
I'm too
sharp on
old
the
to be
lawn.
Alice.
A curse is firstborn. Is this thing on? Send them to the children of the corn. We the
Still
people.
no Chad? Oh.
We
Let's
need
see.
some peace, loving and metal today. True. Conversate for a few, cause in a few we gonna do what we came to do. Yeah, guys. So my recommendations, like always, are go to the gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah, go. Yeah. Did you replace this thumbnail? Cause we look bored as hell. Look at this. Look at this.
No, look. I thought I did.
Oh, look at that. Ketanji Brown Jackson. Okay.
Wait a second. What's happening here?
Huh?
I thought I did. Yeah, I did. Refresh.
Oh, there he is. Chad has arrived.
Is his last name in there?
Yeah.
Yes, I knew it. I told you my subconscious knew. Chad, when we first started, I announced that the stream was Chad Osborne, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh crap! Did I say his last name?"
I killed the stream. I killed the stream.
And I've been
trying to
nervous.
protect your identity.
I've been nervously waiting for your arrival to see if I doxed you or not. But I was pretty sure I'd seen your name like that out.
Shout out to Brother Minister Malcolm. Good to see you two live, buddy. Okay, we're going to commercial break. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that
can
off.
also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee,
Can't
a
guarantee
positive
you
review.
A positive review.
Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener. Buy our merch indeed, a child shall lead them.
Yes.
Okay.
To buy our merch.
We have an amazing DJ stream for you beautiful people. If you want to be part of a DJ stream, 4-song minimum, no maximum.
Oh my god. My headphones.
And
Just do the intro.
of course, Shariah doesn't have her headphones. We're not prepared. Surprise, surprise. And then you, dear listener, get to determine what time we do it, what songs we do, etc., 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 etc. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, we're waiting for my partner in crime to get her headphones. While that's occurring, dear listener, please keep me honest on the audio quality, etc., etc., because our audio has been the bane of my existence, and I am going to figure out how to make that shit work, damn it. So we're working on fixing the audio. I think...
Again?
Yes. Also, shout out to Florian. Thank you for the donation. I will definitely pay that forward. Florian actually donated a song
I was going to announce it when that song started.
to the homie,
Yeah, because...
which pushed him over the threshold. Hey, JLB, haven't seen you in a couple days.
Chad... I don't even remember. Chad, do you remember which song it was that was so impactful for Florian? But Florian was like just blown out of the water with one of the songs that Chad picked. And so he was like, you know what? Let me buy a song for the person that introduced me to such an awesome band. And I was like, what? So the last song on the list, the Spiritbox song that we have coming up, was given to him by Florian. So
Yeah,
I thought that was
Ghost.
super cool.
It was Ghost by Imminence. Okay, guys, here we go.
That's right, it was.
This is This is song 1 by the band Imminence. It's called Chasing Shadows, and it's a two-parter. This is part 1, Chasing Shadows. Let's do it.
I fear the end has just begun. As darkness festers in my heart, I know I can't go on chasing shadows in the dark.
expecting that. Not expecting that. Somebody mentioned Bring Me the Horizon. I'm a fan of Bring Me the... It's really... I have a very interesting relationship with that band.
Yeah, you do.
Because I'm a fan of them. I'm very
gosh.
grateful to them, but I don't really listen to them a lot. I can't really listen to them a lot, but that's another story for another day.
Wow! Oh my gosh, this song is so good.
I figured this is would be right up your alley.
This is exactly up my alley. These are the songs that I live for. These are the ones I wait for reactions for.
Yeah, I'm with Ian on this one. People are like, oh, the metalcore sounds the same. I'm like, yeah, there's a violin or a cello or something in there. Yeah, I definitely remember all those metalcore bands with a bunch of cellists. What are you talking about? I really like that middle. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
You know when there was a part where he said the whispering part.
Yeah.
Oh, let me Command F it. Oh, right there. In the dark, I hear them whispering, and then they were like whispering.
Literal whispering. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. We should add that into our song somewhere. One of our songs.
Okay. I'm feeling that.
That's really cool.
I'm feeling that energy.
Man, I love this song. It's actually pretty emotional feeling for me. I feel like crying. I'm holding that in. To me, it seems like, first of all, are they a Christian band?
I don't think so.
It's interesting because it sounds like he's using the 23rd Psalm.
Well, at least in the
Take my hand and guide me through the valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah.
And then he says, hold on to heaven.
Right.
So it sounds
and
like...
He said they're a post-hardcore alternative metalcore band. Doesn't say that they're Christian.
Yeah. I mean...
Who formed in 2009.
I love their music. I love it. So it basically sounds like this person is contending with the darkness that's in their heart, and they've been searching for like a remedy, a way out, a way to fix it, but it's not really happening like they want it to, it seems like. But then he says, take my hand and guide me through the valley of the shadow of death. And then he says, hold on to heaven. The interesting part I thought was when he was saying about that he's in between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Yeah. That was brilliant.
Well, tell me why you thought it was brilliant.
Well, just because the devil, is on one side, which is kind of like fiery, whatever. And then the deep blue sea is on another side, which is sort of sometimes looked upon as peaceful or whatever, but could also kill you in the right or wrong circumstances.
Yeah.
So it's a form of like contemplating doing something bad to himself, but at the same time, he's trying to escape from the devil and finally have some peace.
To me, this song was a prayer, and I think if my prayers from my heart made music, it would be like this. This is what it would be, because this was like when he said. So he says, I've been searching for a remedy between the devil and the deep blue sea, which you just said. Say the words, and you will set me free.
Before the sky's falling down on me.
Mm-hmm. And to me, that was like the prayer to Jesus.
Which I feel like a lot of people are dealing with that kind of anxiety right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because of current events. I just think it's so much easier now to believe that the world is collapsing because now we have access to seeing parts of the world collapse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're seeing all this horrible stuff domestically, and I was just talking to a guy. He's like, last night we were talking, and me and this guy talk every other day, channel dude, and we're talking about COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And like, 2-3 months ago, for the last 2 years, COVID, horrible this COVID, horrible that COVID story, terrible whatever, controversies, people taking sides, tribalism, people hating each other, yada, yada, yada. And now it's like, oh, we don't care about COVID now. Now we're talking about this, situation in Eastern Europe. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's always something else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And because
there's no rest.
People don't understand, psychologically, what we're all doing to ourselves and what the media is doing to us, because fear sells. Mm-hmm. And sensationalism, all this shit sells. and it generates revenue for them. And when you're terrified, one of the ways that you deal with terror, one of the ways that I found that people are dealing with their own fear is to know everything that's going on, because somehow that gives us some sort of illusion of control.
Right.
So like, I have to know everything that's happening. I was talking to Zoe yesterday, and she was talking about the bombing of Kiev. Of course, Dorian is, he's up on politics or whatever. And so Dorian was, talking to them about the bombing of Kiev, and he was, it's all over CNN or whatever. And I said, you don't have to look at that, honey. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to look at that. And that's one of the things I think we have to train ourselves to do, is like, just because it's available, we don't have to see it. Mm-hmm. Like, there was another video of a cop shooting this black dude. Like, I haven't watched it. Like, there's no reason to see it. There's no reason to look at it. I didn't look at the Ahmaud Arbery video. Why? You don't need to look at it. So, like, that's one of the disciplines I think people are going to have to figure out.
Yeah.
In our current times, is that you don't have to look at everything. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to see everything. Like, those bombs were going off, and you're like, people are there, right? People are dying. And I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, people are dying. But, like, we're in this sick society now where everything is televised, and then everything is on video, and everybody's got a cell phone. So everybody's on camera. And I think it really kind of perpetuates this concept that the sky is falling. And then, so you've got foreign issues, and, then you've got domestic issues with COVID, and then you have your own personal family issues, and then you have your own personal issues. And it's like, there's no sphere in your life now where there isn't some horrible, like, literally existential crisis now. Mm-hmm. And then now you're seeing, and, I keep saying, Americans don't understand what it means to actually do war.
Right.
Because, 9/11 and everything, it's like all that shit was happening on the news. You know what I'm saying?
Somewhere else.
But now you've got cell phone videos of a soldier saying goodbye to his kid on a train.
Yeah.
And they're going off to some safe area supposedly, and he has to stay back in Kiev and fight. And this dude might not even be voluntarily fighting, because they made it basically illegal for dudes to leave the area, so they have to get conscripted into the military. So this could just be some regular Joe who's now caught up in something that he probably doesn't understand all the geopolitical reasons for why he's doing what he's doing anyway. It's just, so my thing is you gotta exercise some discipline and know where you are emotionally, so you can unplug from that shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I agree.
Some of it's about balance too, like what for positivity are you putting into yourself that kind of helps your soul heal? What are you putting in versus the negative that you're putting in versus what the positive that you're putting in, because you have to offset it by the positive. Otherwise you're going to be overwhelmed. But I think sometimes we're just like taking in all this negativity all over the place. And like you said, you're dealing with home problems and work problems and relationship problems and all these different things. And it's just problem. And you have to have a place to decompress and put into yourself something that's healing to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I can't go on chasing shadows in the dark. It's a really interesting line, shadows in the dark, because they're shadows and then it's dark. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. Like, I woke up today, I was going to ask you actually, I was like, did something bad happen last night or whatever? Because I just woke up today with this heavy, sad feeling, which of course, based on what's happening in the world, it's probably just the residual effects of that, you know what I'm saying? But I really felt like there was some horrible conversation that we had. Maybe it was a bad dream, I don't know. Mm. But I just woke up like feeling that. And that was one of the things they talked about in the at the psych ward, was the impending doom. Like, this idea that something bad has happened, but you can't really put your finger on, or something bad is going to happen, or some weird kind of feeling over here, not even a premonition, just this unspoken dark heaviness, and that's how I interpreted shadows in the dark. calling out my name, fuel the fire, going down in flames. And sometimes when things get really, really, really bad in all the spheres that you're in, your mind will do that as a sort of defense mechanism, like, oh, something bad's going to happen. So it can prepare itself when nothing really bad is happening. And then the fear of the bad thing happening is the bad thing.
Yep.
And then you're going to try to figure out, and that's how I interpreted chasing shadows in the dark. It's like you're never going to find a shadow in the dark, right? And so, like, sometimes there's problems that you don't have, but you're going to go trying to figure out how to solve those problems, and it's not the problem, it's the fear of the problem.
Yep.
So
yeah, I loved this song. Lyrically, I thought it was just great. I love that there's some real dealing with what the person's going through, but then some actionable stuff where they're, asking for guidance.
yeah,
I think that if you're at a place where you don't ask for guidance anymore and you just kind of accept the place that you're in, and you accept the shadows and you accept the shadow of death, then that's a more difficult place to be. And I think that it's also a scarier place to be. So I think that if, we're at a place where we can still say, you know what, I still want guidance and I still want to make my way out of the shadow of death, and then that's good, and ask for the guidance. And I don't know, I guess too, if you haven't felt like that, maybe you felt like you've been in a dark place for a long time and you realized in this conversation that you don't ask for guidance anymore, like, speak to that higher one and ask for some guidance.
yeah. There's been a lot of times where, it's really funny. It's like if you're lost in the woods and you pull out your GPS on your phone to get back home, somebody goes, "Oh, you're just using that GPS as a crutch." Yes.
Yes, sir. I am.
I'm lost. That's why we have crutches. When you have a broken leg, that's why you have crutches. I never understood how this idea that God is a crutch is some sort of disproving of religion or whatever people think it is, that seems to be like a more of an ego attack than it is a solid argument. It's like, yeah, if I didn't have a broken leg, I would not need a crutch. You know what I'm saying? So I'd happily say, like, yeah, I'm a broken person. God's guided me out of the woods a million times.
Yeah.
And he'll do it again. And sometimes the way out of the woods is to just sit down and have some peace and quiet. Sometimes God leads you into some wilderness just to get away from everybody. So you could sit down and just chill. You know what I'm saying? So I've had those experiences too, man, in the midst of a lot of chaos. And I've found heaven in the midst of a lot of chaos at times, and a lot of bad shit, and a lot of personal crises, and a lot of darkness. I found a lot of times when I'm just sitting there chilling, and just me and him sitting on a rock in the woods and just saying, "This is some shit," and he'd be like, "Yeah, man," and eventually you get up and you get out. But those times are also sweet. So I would commend that to you, dear listener. But yeah, I really enjoyed this song a lot.
Yeah.
Really, really strong one. And we have a part 2 coming up, dear listener, so
This
stay
one's a 10
tuned.
for me. I loved it.
It's a solid... there's Tony. Tony says he's hardcore, so no crutches
I know,
for
I already put it on the
broken
screen.
legs.
And it was such a gross... You remember we were looking at that thing in the bone structure of that particular group of people?
Yes.
And like what the joints and stuff were doing, like when he said that, like I just pictured like a very extreme version of that because he's got broken legs. No crutches for me, I'm hardcore.
Yeah.
Like going along with his busted legs, it's so bad.
Yeah. This is the 8.8 for me.
Loser.
What do you say, loser? We're all the people advocating for my opinionated autonomy, dear listener. Where are you? Hear me?
They don't agree with you because you made a bad score.
I'm on the way back. Then out.
Sorry, out.
Go.
Part 2, you guys. Yay.
Part 2 on the way. Yeah, seeing as how this is a two-parter,
Look, Dwayne.
we'll just get right into it. What
You're
did
just
Dwayne
mad.
say? Did he say something about the Beatles?
6.5.
Because he's a Beatles head.
He knows it's good, so he would have given it a 3.5.
Rating songs is fascist, actually. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
All right, ready?
Okay,
Part
so
2.
Alleviate is part 2, inshallah. Let's do it.
Am I destined to wear these chains? Am I the one to blame? Why everything goes up in flames? Remind me once again. Tell me what you see. I see fire burning desperately. Don't let me down. Silence the sound. I feel my heart break apart, bursting into pieces under all the secrets. When shadows fall and darkness comes, save me from myself and alleviate the pain.
Wow.
Hate that I feel like I'm lost, that nothing ever changed. I'm tired of looking around rooms where everyone's a stranger. Am I doomed to make the same mistake and put myself to shame? Like everything is just a game. Alleviate the tell me what you see. I see fire burning desperately. Don't let me down. Silence the sound. I feel my heart break apart, bursting into pieces under all the secrets. When shadows fall and darkness comes, save me from myself and alleviate the pain.
On that was part 2. The name of that song was
Alleviate.
Alleviate.
I loved this one as well. The part 1 I like better, but I still liked this one a lot. It kind of reminded me. So when he's talking about the secrets, And he's saying like, where is that part? Under all the, okay, I feel my heart break
That's the
apart,
chorus.
bursting into pieces under all the secrets. So I actually used to be a youth pastor at my old church where I grew up.
Such a bad idea.
Say what you will.
Such a bad idea.
So there's so many things I want to say right now, but I'm not sure which direction to go in. Well, one of the things was, you know, a lot of times you teach people what you learn. And so purity culture was like a big thing that I grew up under, which is you basically like, it's all about don't have sex before you get married. Like there's a lot of pressure put on that. There's like a lot of big deal. They'll do weird things like, you know, they might take a rose out at the beginning of the conference and pass it around and tell everybody to smell it. And then at the end, the rose is like all like
Wilted,
fallen apart,
the
wilted,
petals are
ripped
all-
apart, you know, like
Yeah.
it's just from being, you know. And then they basically say like, if you pass yourself around to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, you're gonna be like this rose, and who's gonna want that? And, you know, it's tossed. It's like it's such a horrible message, because a person's identity and their value is not wrapped up in their sexuality. But apparently somebody missed the memo on that one. Well, so I was teaching basically the same thing that I had learned, but I was teaching it to these kids about sexual purity and stuff like that, and you know, waiting till you're married, which I think that it has its it definitely has its positives in the messaging, but there's also negatives to it as well. Well, I was unaware of the group and where everybody might be at, and I was just teaching what I had been taught. And then I noticed there was this one girl that got progressively heavier and heavier looking, and
Heavier,
like
emotional.
as in sad emotionally. Yeah.
Okay.
She got more sad and more sad looking, and then she basically was like, well, you know, I can't remember how she said it, but she let the cat out of the bag. She was so young too. I couldn't believe that she had already had sex. And then I talked to her about, you know, that's the importance of Jesus and how he died on the cross for your sins, and that he, like, it, all you have to do is ask him to forgive you, and then you're completely good. And it was crazy because like these are all things that I had been taught, but I'd never seen like it actioned in somebody. And so when I said that to her, she like, it was all this relief that just came over her, and she said, that's it, I just have to ask him to forgive me, and that's it. And I was like, yeah. And then like, so she took like a little moment, and she had a little prayer or something, and then she got really, really happy after that. And then the whole group was like, it was the cutest little moment for teenagers. But I was thinking when I was listening to this song, like, you know, if I was back there with the teenagers, that's one thing that I would teach them about is secrets, and how secrets are not, like when you're little, secrets are like this fun little thing, like, ooh, we've got secrets, you know. But secrets can become like it can eat away at your soul depending on what type of secret it is. And how when you're young, you feel like, well, that's fine, I'm just not going to tell anybody this. I mean, I'm just going to keep that inside. But then as you age, that secret itself begins to eat away at you, whether you face it or not. It's having its effect on you, which is part of the reason we came up with the Sori secret theme. You know, maybe you're sick because of your secrets. And so just the concept of that, and that, you know, I would tell them now, if I was to go back, I would tell them that as you age, there's going to be more and more things that you're going to want to keep a secret, because the more you age, the more you're going to realize like how much evil is in your actual own heart. And that, you know, you look at bad guys or bad people over there and you're like, wow, those people are really bad. But as you get older, you have to contend with your own thoughts more, and the things that happen to you can be more frustrating, and the thoughts that you have as reaction to what you would do in certain situations may shock you sometimes. And so I think that I would talk to them more about, you know, that's one of the cool things that there is in Christianity, is that like there's a Bible verse that says, confess your sins one to another and be healed. And I think that that's been used wrongly in some instances. It's been used to get people to talk, and then what they say then gets used against them. But it's not that type of environment. It's a safe environment where you can say, hey, like if you're talking to a friend and you're able to say, hey, look, this is what I've been through. This is what I've done. And something about getting that stuff off your chest and being able to say it to someone that you trust, and someone that can can pray for you and stuff is absolutely unbelievable. So when I heard this song, I thought of, there was a time where a group of my friends, we all just kind of went through this thing where we were just like, you know what, fuck it, we're not holding any more secrets. And we all like just started telling our secrets, all the stuff that, over the years that had kind of like built up inside that we never talked to anyone about. And the joy that was there after those times was pretty unbelievable. But so this is kind of what this song made me think of. And he was saying like, when the shadows fall and darkness calls, save me from myself and alleviate the pain. I don't know. I guess that I want people to be able to have saving and anyway, you go ahead. I'm not really sure where to go from there.
Well, I mean, a lot of families institutionalize secrecy, and obviously, like, it's not wise to broadcast. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not.
But when certain lines are being crossed, or people are being abusive and things of that nature, that kind of secrecy is not good. Mm-hmm. And so there's that side of it as well, where it's like, people are pressured into a type of secrecy involuntarily where they would want to say something, they would say something, but they can't because then, they'll be betraying the family X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And, am I destined to wear these chains? Am I the one to blame when everything, why does everything go up in flames? Remind me once again, tell me what you see. I see fire burning desperately. Don't let me down. Silence the sound. So, that's one of the biggest things I think that really goes with depression is this concept that the place that you're in right now is a place you're always going to be in. Ugh. Right? Like, am I destined to wear these chains? Like, that was like a big, big, big fear of mine, because I grew up hearing like, oh, we've got this thing generationally. This person has depression, this person. And this person's dysfunctional, and was like this family kind of line of dysfunction. And I just remember that was like something that I was really, really terrified about, was that. And then, I came of age 15, 16, starting to manifest depressive traits and things like that. I'm like, oh God, here it is. And, I'm on this trajectory. And then obviously,
oh my gosh,
previous relationship was a bit difficult. And that person had a bunch of dysfunction, surprise, surprise. And so there were a lot of times when I just felt like, okay, that's it. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this thing, and it's never going to change. I'm always going to be this way. And that could be one of the most brutal, self-fulfilling prophecies ever, because what I didn't have that I now have looking backwards is somebody to say, bruh, if you inherited this, generationally speaking, you inherited a mountain, and you're not going to erode a mountain in one day. And, if you look at erosion, it takes, thousands, hundreds of thousands of years to erode a mountain, and hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of raindrops and wind and animals and all types of other things that have to conspire together over a period of time. So the minute that first raindrop falls on that mountain or whatever, it's doomed. But if you look at it like 5-10 years, it's like, oh, it's the same mountain. No, it's not. It is not. And eventually there's this sort of crisis point for the mountain where it just collapses into itself and it's rubble. And now you can look and say, oh, I've got, but up until that point, it looks like the mountain's invincible. And you think about how like massive a mountain is. For it to be undone by a drop of water, if you think about it, is fascinating. And there's a lot of, Jonathan Edwards believed that there was a lot of truth in nature if we would observe. And that's a major truth. And so I look at it in my life, and so like if I had somebody like back then saying, look, you are aware at 16 or 17 that you're dysfunctional. Okay, that's not
a lot of these people
that's not what you inherited. That's
right.
A drop of water.
Right.
you're aware that something has to change in your future, that the way that you were, the family system you grew up in was not good. Boom, that's another water. And so like you start looking at all different ways that you're accumulating drops of water to take down that mountain. And then you can look to the future and you're going to say, okay, at some point that motherfucker's going to collapse. At some point it's going to collapse. But I didn't have anybody to tell me that. So I'm just looking at it. I mean, now I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, that was one. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, you talk about this moment a lot. We had some little family issue, and, you know, family dinner is really, really important to them, especially Dorian. So we were setting up family dinner, and we had this massive family tension. And
I don't even remember. I never can remember what the tension was about.
Yeah, it's almost immaterial at this point. But so I sat down there, and I'm just like, what? I forgot what I said. I said like,
Nope. I remember you saying nope. We're not gonna have this. But you basically said we're not gonna sit here and pretend that everything is okay,
right,
and have a happy-go-lucky family dinner when there's these underlying issues.
Right.
And Dorian was like, you could tell Dorian was not happy with that interruption.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, I mean, I could throw in with you. I just don't really know how we're like what to do in this situation. And you know, food got cold, but it was well worth it.
Yeah. That
I felt like that was a game changer. That something changed at that point.
But that's how those sick family systems, that's how those mountains get erected. Because just like destroying those mountains of dysfunction or depression, whatever you want to, just like those are subtle and you don't notice them until the crumbling has happened, those horrible mountains get built by those kinds of moves. And there's messaging happening to everybody in that kind of a context when everybody knows that there's some simmering underlying issue, but we're gonna ritualize this family thing so that we can point to that and say, oh, we're a good family. Look, we eat around the dinner table, which, you know, it's a good family ritual. We eat around the dinner table. Oh, we're a good family. But we've got this underlying seething problem happening, and that's a way to reinforce this is how you handle dysfunction. Now, I'm not saying going, whoa, we're not doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying like that's the best possible way to handle it, but it's the least bad way of handling it in that context. You say it that way. And it's funny to me, like it had a massive impact on you because it was diametrically opposed to the way that your family would have handled it. Right? And that's...
we would have all ate our supper. But I remember when there was issues and we were all sitting around the table and like eating, and I remember feeling like the food was just not going down well.
Yeah.
But that we were all pretending everything was okay.
Yeah.
So I was grateful for it. Like, I can function in both environments now. Like, I can cover it up and pretend everything's okay and just move it forward. And I think there's a part of me that still that got so acclimated to that, I kind of want to stay there. But then there's the other side of me that's like, well, let's try something different. And then when we sat down to eat after that, like, yeah, I mean, the food got cold and had to be microwaved and whatever, but it was a good dinner. So we were closer after, and you could tell, you know, so.
Yeah, and it was important for me to kind of make a show of it just because I wanted that to be a lasting sort of ethic for the kids. Because that would happen also in my home, although we would have the dysfunction, the yelling or whatever, and then it wasn't like, oh, we're all a happy family. It's just we're not going to talk about the aftermath. Like, mom and dad just got into it. Mom and stepdad just got into it. There's this broken glass and shit all over the place. But now we're going to eat, and we're just going to keep it moving, and everybody knows it's awkward, but nobody's going to address anything. You know what I'm saying? So all of that, like, goes to feeling like you're wrapped in chains. A lot of that is family systems. Definitely a lot of depression is chemical. And you know, there are chemical remedies for that. You know what I'm saying? But the other side of it is also you were raised in certain ways and given certain lies and given certain beliefs that you have to deconstruct in order to survive, in order to live. And you know, that's why you know, there's this deconstruction movement in Christianity right now, in American Christianity, where you got a bunch of people, a bunch of Gen Xers and, you know, some millennials who are saying, yeah, like, I don't really believe this stuff anymore, yada, yada, yada. And people are looking at it like, even they're looking at it like they're abandoning Christianity. I've been saying, well, hold on. Maybe they're abandoning something that they feel is a package deal. Like a destructive religion, for example, about sexuality. American Christianity is horrible with sexuality. Pre and post marriage, it's horrible.
Yep.
You know, pre-marriage, it's and look, I believe monogamy is marriage and monogamy is the healthiest way of managing your sexuality. I believe that. I think the CDC backs that up, and I think the emotional ramifications, particularly for women, of having 5 or 6 partners, the prevalence of HPV, the emotional thing, the whole friends with benefits movements, where psychologically it's clear that that was not beneficial to women. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on. So there are massive parts of American culture that people are also deconstructing from. People in our generation are open to questioning capitalism, for example, which the previous generations just assumed, even in their youth, for the most part. Now it's mainstream to question capitalism. You know what I'm saying? So all of us are deconstructing from unhealthy, you know, American institutional ideology, which also includes religion.
Yep.
And that's why I've been saying, like, I'm not sure that all these people saying I'm deconstructing from Christianity or whatever, I'm not sure that they're leaving Jesus. To me, it could very well be, we're seeing a landslide on this mountain that needs to be destroyed. Because American Christianity, at some level, needs absolute destruction. Because I've seen it have such a destructive effect, you know, inside and outside, in how sexuality is handled, how LGBT kids are handled, how we handle money, how we handle healthcare, how we handle foreign policy. I mean, surprise, surprise, we have a hand in some of the shit that's happening. We have a major hand in some of the shit that's going on right now. So, yeah, I think that God does, and on the outside looking in, it's like, oh, you're destroying a family, oh, you're destroying church, oh, you're unpatriotic, and that's how people keep you in these chains, so that you're always, you know, you're always having to be locked in because they're locked in. You know, like, we're watching something, we're not going to call out the community, but there's a community of people who are obviously unhealthy. Oh. And
I thought you were talking about the dispensationalists.
And they've given up. They've given up that they can ever change. So now they're promoting this thing as a healthy lifestyle when it's objectively a non-healthy lifestyle. It's going to kill you by the time you're 50. But now they're going full force with the fake science and all the rest of it being completely unhealthy, and now what's going to happen? So now everybody else has to be locked into these chains because of their institutionalized unhealthiness, right? And so anyway, you don't have to be part of anybody's crazy ass institution that's making you unhealthy, and just because you have a family system that's unhealthy, that doesn't mean that you need to replicate it. And just because you have a religious system that's unhealthy, that doesn't mean you have to replicate it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. You can get healthy, you can get well, and God is not against health and wellness.
Right. They didn't say it. They didn't say God was against it.
Well, again, a lot of these people would say that if you leave an American religious institution, that means that you're, you know,
yep.
So, okay. So
8.9 for me on this one.
Okay. I actually like this one better than
the one before?
Than the one before. So I'm gonna give this one a solid, a hard 9. Alan goes, I don't like my family's traditions. I'll make my own. There you go. Excellent.
All right, you guys. Bad Omens is next. The name of the song is "The Death of Peace of Mind."
Holy smokes! Having said that, dear listener, Vin out.
Sori out.
Go. You guys know what's next? It's commercial time. Let's go. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that off.
can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee, a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed. A child shall lead them.
Oh, we're in the middle of a DJ stream for the big homie DJ Chad.
Yes, sir.
Literally
Robert.
the middle of the stream.
Yeah, literally.
This song is called Bad Omens. No, the band, I'm sorry, is Bad Omens. The name of the song is The Death of Peace of Mind. Yikes. So let's get into it.
I guess Ian is saying that this band and Spiritbox are touring together.
Oh, man.
All right, dear listener, here we go. Here we go. The moment has arrived. Let's do it. This is Bad Omens?
Yeah, Bad Omens, The Death of Peace of Mind.
The Death of Peace of Mind. Subtle lyricism right from the get-go. Interesting.
I made another mistake. Thought I could change, thought I could make it out. Promises break, need to hear you say you're gonna keep it. I miss the way you say my name, the way you bend, the way you break. You make up running down your face, the way you touch, the way you taste. When the curtains call the time, will we both go home alive? It wasn't hard to realize love's the death of peace of mind. That I made with crosses and frames, hanging upside down for granted.
girl in this song?
I didn't hear a girl.
So he was just singing really high.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to the homie.
Oh,
I know
boy.
this is your type of
This
is your I think it's a relationship song.
If they come close to our area, you have to bring me to the Spirit Box Bad Omens show.
Wait, what'd you say?
If they come close to our area, you have to bring me to the show.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
Why is that?
Because I like it.
Marie Austin into his house.
Oh my goodness. Okay, wow. This gentleman's in a very unhealthy relationship and he should get himself out of it, but I don't believe he will.
Or she should get herself out of it.
Yeah, that's true. But I was going because it was his voice. But yeah, both of them. But it sounds like she did because he said he misses. I miss the way you say my name.
Well, yeah, because they're out.
So she did leave.
Yeah, well, for now.
Yeah.
It comes in waves.
I know.
So, I mean...
Yeah, yep.
This reminds me of my previous very, very unhealthy relationship.
That's so sad.
But you
Such
liked
a sexy song to relate to your ex.
Sexy? What do you mean? He says you come in waves, you bend, you break, the makeup running down your face.
Yeah. The way you fuck, the way you taste.
Love is a death of peace of mind.
Yeah. I mean...
I'll trade all that shit for peace of mind. Thank you very much.
Do you have peace of mind in this relationship? Well, what does it mean by peace of mind? I mean...
This person is the death of his peace of mind.
Yeah, but love can do that to you, you know.
No, actually, see, this is what I'm talking about, like horrible beliefs that are destructive that need to be undone. Why do you think why is that such a big thing for you? Like horrible. Why do you romanticize these destructive relationships? Why is that like a romantic thing for you?
What did you think about the lyrics?
Well, like I said, it reminded me of my previous relationship, and it made me very grateful to be out of that situation.
Look, Ron, sorry setting a trap for Finn. Well, see, the thing is, like, you've been the most, like
this with you.
Right.
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 Because you purposely, would it be safe to say you purposely, you chose some bitches before who'd never stand up to you. So you always kind of knew what to expect.
Yeah.
Because them boys is bitches. Shout out to the homie.
So, you know, for me, when I hear this song, I think of us. I don't think of...
Right, because...
Your ex. Because to me,
so
there's
we're
romance
relaying
in
a
this.
Song from like complete opposite perspectives.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating. Go ahead, what were you saying?
Because he says, when the curtain calls the time, will we both go home alive? I can see how you would relate that to your ex.
Yeah, because that shit was literally true.
My thing is, like, if you've ever looked into twin flames, it specifically says, like, and it's not a Christian thought process. They'd crucify me for saying it. But
I'm not sure it's not a Christian thought process.
well, if you look up twin flame, you're not going to see anything about Christianity. And if you brought it to a Christian, they'd probably think it was demonic.
Oh, if you look up math, you won't necessarily see anything about Christianity either.
Yeah, but Christians are okay with it.
I guess we should set her on fire for believing math as well.
2 + 2. So, I mean, the twin flame thing, basically, it's like two people that are like completely destined to be together. It's been a while, actually, since I've done any research into it, but two people, they're completely destined to be together, but they're both like, they both have like their issues, and like separately, like they can really like burn for each other, but then like when they come together, like there can be a lot of tension if they have issues like healing issues or their own personal selves not like completely figured out. Not figured out, that's not really the word. Like, you know how as a person, as you grow, like you start realizing that you have issues with certain things and stuff that you have to work on yourself as a person. And if those issues are not dealt with, then it can cause a lot of complications relationship wise. And so like there's sometimes where we'll be having a fight or whatever, and I think about that. I'm like, okay, well, whose issue is undealt with here that's now causing a relationship between the twin flames? So when I hear this, I mean, that's what That's what it reminds me of. And
is it possible that the relationship itself has created a new issue, or does the issue always have to be rooted in some past issue?
it doesn't have to be a past issue, like damage that you had from a previous relationship. It's just in your person. Like, basically it sounds like you're trying to get like the purest form of yourself. And so anything that disrupts your peace needs to be dealt with. Instead of just stuffing things and not dealing with them, you deal with it so that way you can become the most holistic person that you can.
I agree with
and then
that.
the two holistic persons kind of really connect. And
yeah, but isn't that true of every relationship?
Yes, but as far as like the burning thing, like I don't think that that's true. I mean, I've seen lots of relationships that, like, you know how you'll see like
Yeah, I've never seen you this intense with
No.
Yeah.
No, and you'll see like I can't. Who was the one where they kept a vial of blood in the necklaces?
Angelina Jolie.
I was pretty sure that's who it was. Like, I think that they're one of those twin flame situations, but they didn't work out their issues. They're not together anymore, right? Who was she with?
What? She was with Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's who she did the blood thing with.
Okay, but they're not together anymore.
No.
Right. So, in situations like you see how hot they were burning, like blood and vials around their neck, like people looking at them like they're crazy.
Yeah.
But that's just something you're not going to understand. So I don't think that every relationship has the potential. I mean, my God, that's not, no. Like, it's working. Like, they're making it work, and the curtains are gonna draw, but they're not gonna. I don't believe that they wonder if they're gonna be alive when the curtains draw. But there's some intense relationships that, But I see why you would have taken that, like, because that's like super literal, like, with your ex. But with us, like, I don't see it as. But I do think that, like, I think that you have stuff that you have to work on as a person, and I have stuff that I have to work on as a person. And like, for me, I think like sometimes I'm like, holy shit, we're having the same fucking conversation again, and I'll feel like I really thought that I had kind of like handled this in such a way that I wouldn't have to rediscuss this again. So when it said like I made another mistake, thought I could change, thought I could make it out, but then it says promises break, need to hear you say you're going to keep it now. I don't know what that meant. You're going to keep it now.
Well, again, it's
you're going to keep your promises now.
Yeah.
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 And I mean, like, that pattern is kind of there with us, where like there'll be something.
What are you talking about?
There'll be something that not like promises breaking, like,
yeah, you don't
stuff like
anything.
that. But I'll be like, all right, I'm sorry, I'm gonna work on that, blah blah blah, and then lo and behold, 4 days later, we're having the same freaking conversation, or a week later.
Don't you think that in relationships, people know when somebody's really serious and when they're not?
What do you mean?
Like, there's been times we've had conversations, like, yeah, I'll work on that. Like, she ain't gonna do that shit. That's why I'll just be like, no, I'm not there. You know what I'm saying?
When you ever said that?
I'll just be like, I'm not there. Well, you'd be like, well, I don't like this specific issue, and I'm like, yeah, but
oh yeah,
I'm not there.
Yeah.
And then you get mad at me. You get mad at me about that.
Yeah, it's always so annoying.
But I'm not gonna. Why?
Because for myself, like, if you bring up an issue, at least for 20 minutes, I'm gonna take it seriously.
Yeah, but that is me taking it seriously.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like, I want you to at least tell me what I want to hear, at least right now. Don't right off the bat to my face.
Even if it's a lie.
I know that's terrible. I know that's terrible. But when you say, yeah, I'm not gonna, and that I don't, that makes me really angry.
I just feel like that's better than lying to the person and saying, because there'll be times we'll have conversations like, yeah, I'll see that. I'm like, I almost put an appointment in my Apple Watch. Like, we will be addressing this issue again, I'm sure. But I feel like relationships would be a lot healthier if people would practice that. Just be like, not there right now. Just not there right now. And like,
yeah, but
I would accept that a lot better.
Yeah, but I think that you're able to do that because you know yourself as a person more. Like, anytime there's an issue, I feel myself scrambling. Like, I'm trying to, okay, now I got to make sure I deal with this and this thing gets handled, and so we don't have to whatever. Because I don't want to be I don't want to be the reason we're having this conversation.
So you always want me to be the reason.
That'd be much easier because then I know, okay, well, I expressed it. He said something back. All right, we can move on now. But when you're the one that has a problem, then I'm like, so what? I'm not sure what we're supposed to do because I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do in this situation because all I know is pretend that there's not an issue, but that's obviously not the way to handle it. But then how long do you talk about it? Like, I mean, and then also there's no, what do you say? Satisfacio. There's no, what do you call that?
Penance?
Punishment?
Punishment?
Yeah. So it's like, you know, if
Why
I
does
was
somebody
Catholic,
always have to be punished?
well, I just feel like there has to be, what changes it from we're having this fight and then somebody apologizes and then what?
And then you move on.
And what?
What do you mean in what?
And you just, well, let's go have ice cream now. Let's do a song.
I
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know when that moment is.
I was, you know, a situation that came up a couple of days ago, and there was an initial, you know, apology or whatever. I was ready to move on and have ice cream. I think the problem comes up is like, if a person, like, let's say an apology happens and the person goes, I accept your apology, but man, I'm really fucking annoyed that you did that. You can't, it seems that you can't handle that. Like, to me, it'd be like, well, yeah. Like, if we're on the way to get ice cream and you go, man, and I apologize for something, whatever, and you go, man, that really pissed me off that you did that, bro. Even after the apology, like, the apology does not heal all wounds. Like, part of healing is the expression or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I get it, and I'm good to have the ice cream. But I feel like with you, if I say, man, that really, then you have to like offload the pressure and say, well, actually, no, this and this and this and this, which then goes and undoes the apology, which then creates another conflict. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, maybe. And secondly, for some reason, if you are saying, well, I accept that apology, for some reason, I never hear you say that.
Never hear me say what?
I accept that apology. And then, like, so it's kind of like that move on point. So perhaps I'm not hearing that part of the conversation, so I'm not sure why that is. If you're saying it, then maybe I feel too stressed out. I'm not really hearing that part. I'm not really sure.
And this is just something I'm just gonna have to just accept. Like, for me, I wish I want relationships to be a little bit more organic. So like, you said the apology a couple days ago, whatever, and I was just gonna say one more thing, like, that really frustrated me, and then like that was the end of it for me. Like, we were gonna be good. You know, I was thinking, oh, maybe we could play Fortnite or whatever. But yeah. So if you don't hear I accept an apology, then you're not gonna, you know. There's a story of Dennis Rodman and Michael Jordan. Scotty was hurt, so Dennis Rodman basically had to step up, and he did some dumb shit, and he got himself kicked out of the game.
Okay.
And Michael was angry at him because he's like, look, I'm out here by myself. What the hell are you doing? Mm-hmm. And Dennis and Michael never hung out with each other outside of basketball. Never. So Michael's up in his room. He hears this knock on the door, and it's Dennis. And Dennis says, hey, man, you got a cigar? And Michael says, yeah, man, come in. I got a cigar. And they both smoke together. And there was a bunch of unspoken shit there. Because Michael's like, this guy never does that. Mm-hmm. So basically, that was him saying, I knew I fucked up, yada, yada, yada. And then they were cool. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, like, with a lot of my dude friends, like, there's a lot of shit like that we did. Mm-hmm. You know, whether in high school or other, you know, organizations I was a part of, where you're, like, really, really close to people. Like, you genuinely love these people. And there are situations like that. There were situations like that where it was like, I see what's happening here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, the issue was addressed because, you know, there's a little shoving match, there's a whatever. So it got out there, like, you know, but then right afterwards there was, you know, some sort of olive branch negotiation for peace or whatever, and that was it. I think in our relationship, like, it's tough for both of us because obviously I'm not going to get into a shoving match with you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And dudes say stuff to each other in the heat of the moment that we know he doesn't really mean that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like me and my best friend, like, we never really got into like a physical, we never got bloody, but we got into altercations where, you know, but you know, that kind of fast tracked you know, those relational issues. And with us, it's kind of hard for me to navigate those things because obviously you're not like my dude friends. And you're not like the person before who was basically like a dude, but she was also, I'm saying this in a technical level, borderline sociopathic. So she just never felt sorry for anything she did. You know what I'm
How
saying?
did you guys get past an issue?
I would just drop it. Because I didn't want people to die. And like the focus wasn't really on the relationship. The focus was literally on making sure she didn't kill other people or kill herself. That's the only thing I was worried about.
There was like a sports thing going on the other day after we had an argument or whatever. And I was like asking a couple, I really friggin' care about sports.
Right.
So I was like you were like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure. So what am I supposed to, do you keep going with that? Do you, I put out a couple of them and then I'm like, maybe it's too soon. I don't know this.
Yeah, and that's the language, right? Because for me, I'm like, I don't know why you're doing that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Oh, I always think of the story. Like, there was some fight between you and your brother when you guys were kids.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't talk for a long time and then he brought you a pair of shoes.
Yeah. And then we were cool after that. But with you've got this family history of let's shove everything in and not act like nothing happened, that type of thing. And so
I'm like, well, we already
that's the difference with me. I'm like, is that what she's doing? Like, I don't trust it. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, if you say like, no, those are olive branches. Like, I get it. Like, I'm cool. Like, that would be great. You know what I'm saying? But in the other relationship, the reason I'm looking at this like, this is not romantic because it was like there's different levels of peace of mind. Like you don't have a fight with me and be like, yo, he might kill me tonight.
No.
Like
no, but I don't.
I would have conflicts with this person.
I've upset you.
I'd have conflicts with this person, and I would sleep on the couch, not because, haha, you're sleeping on the couch, but because I'd say to myself, well, she's got to come down the stairs, and I'm a very light sleeper, so I'll be able to catch it if she tries to, smash my head in with a hammer like that. Or stab me to death. Like, that was, like, literally true. Like, the last year of our marriage, I was on the couch for that specific reason. So I could hear her coming down the steps so I could get a jump on it. You know what I'm saying? So, that is not, that's not the same thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that's why I look at that and I go, that's not romantic. Whereas you look at it and you're like, ooh, weird kind of, Eminem, love the way you lie type relationship. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I mean, probably if I had
different.
that experience, yeah.
Yeah, that's why when you're like, when you romanticize that previous stuff, or when I say, oh, that reminds me of my ex, and you're like, oh, that's great. This romantic song reminds you of your ex. I'm like, no.
Yeah, but. Yeah,
the whole, the sexual stuff. Like,
yeah,
that wasn't the premise of the song. Major premise of the song was everything's going up in waves. I like the makeup running down your face, which means he's not very healthy for her either. And obviously it couldn't have been one-sided. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure if she had a platform, she'd be able to say,
holy
well, this
shit,
dude,
look at the album cover.
Yeah, she'd be able to say, well, this dude was, XYZ. I'm sure I wasn't healthy to her. Yeah, shout out to Sori for not stabbing Vin. I'm actually very grateful for that. I'm grateful.
I get mad, but I never think of.
I'm grateful that I
stabbing.
we could sleep in the same bed to where I don't have to
My kids would love it if you stressed out to the couch. They'd love it. Kids would love it if I sent you to the couch after a fight. I mean, that would bother them. Like I think that would be emotionally hard for them, but they would love having you around. If you were down sleeping on the couch, they'd be like, a pajama party in the living room with Dad.
Yeah, but yeah, man, that shit was, yeah. So I always look, and I understand that probably most people are going to look at the song the way you look at it, because most people haven't been in a relationship with a person like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're going to look at it that way as like some sort of quasi-romantic thing. But even like the love, the way you lie and all that shit, like, I never thought that those were romantic songs.
Your ex likes that song too.
But you love that shit. Huh?
I found out your ex likes that song too.
Yeah, you guys love that shit. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
but what about like You know, like when I was going through that whole like phase where I was watching all, because I'd never seen any of the vampire shows or movies because that was haram for us. We could not have that. When I was like going through that, or then the Shades of Grey stuff and all that, what were you thinking? Were you like, this is totally unhealthy, or were like,
No,
you know, because of your experience with?
I mean,
obviously, I think the reason, because I like we said previously, like. Any relationships that I've been in before, they were very, I had the upper hand. I was very much the control over the relationship. And with you, you're not like that.
there shouldn't be a control over.
Yes, I understand that, babe. I'm trying to understand that. But it's funny
that's
because
my goal.
Yeah, I understand that, but because you refuse to give me control, most times I feel like you're the controlling one.
Because I won't be controlled.
Because you won't be controlled. Yeah. And then I feel angry that I feel like you're controlling me because
I won't allow myself to be controlled.
because you can say no, and like you can be completely good with people being unhappy with you. Yeah. So yeah, I guess yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with people being unhappy with me. I'm all right with that. I'm at peace with that. Shout out to my man Skeletor. Gang gang. No, I wasn't thinking like, oh my God. I didn't think like you were going to turn into some horrible terrorist for watching, Twilight or whatever. I think a lot of girls are socialized to think that that's romantic. Like, a guy who follows you around and and is obsessed with you. I think that, it's the same thing with the Shades of Grey thing. The guy was obsessed with her or whatever. I think a lot of women are socialized that kind of obsession is love. And obviously if the guy is attractive, in my experience, the girls are a lot more amenable to that type of obsessive behavior. Whereas if the guy is ugly and he's 250 pounds and he works at 7-Eleven and he's obsessive, then now he's a sicko. Mm-hmm. So those movies...
Speaking of that type of person,
Yeah?
I had a dream last night that he was very, very ill and that I lost track of Reza for a second, and I was panicking. I was running around asking everybody if they saw him. I was searching my ex's house for him because that's where I was when he went missing.
Yeah.
And then I finally found him. I scooped him up and I was holding him. And then that person was trying to leave the driveway so fast, they almost ran us over. I was so angry. I was calling to you. I wanted you to come and push his face into the ground. I was so mad that he almost killed us. Anyway, but it was weird. He was very ill. Which, could be true. I wouldn't be happy if he was ill, but, he does need a lifestyle change.
You talking about JB?
Yeah. And he's probably stressed out, so. Anyway.
Yeah.
Don't run over me and my baby.
He'd get a lifestyle change if something like that happened, though.
Yeah, that's true.
With a
that's
quickness.
True.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. Obsessive behavior. Girls. American women generally like that. I'm trying. We've got one girl. One of our girls would doesn't matter what kind of guy it is. She'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here," and another one would love that shit. So.
I'm not sure you're assessing one of them correctly.
No, I am. I'm assessing her correctly. She assumes that most people are going to be like that with her to a degree. But I'm talking about that obsessive type of controlling shit that was on Twilight or on 50 Shades of Grey. She would not do.
Yeah, you're probably right.
She doesn't like that kind of controlling shit. But the other one, yeah. Obviously. What do you get the song? You're going to rate it high, I'm sure.
Oh, it's high. I'm just depending, I'm trying to decide how high. Go ahead and do yours.
It's a 7.5 for me.
Wow. That's so wrong. 9.8.
I knew it! I was surprised it wasn't a 10.
It was almost going to be a 10.
This shit is going on Sarai's playlist, I'm sure.
This stuff.
It's unhealthy, dear listener.
Chad, make me a playlist!
Yeah, I guarantee she's going to be reaching out to Chad later in the thing. For sure. Having said that, dear listener, we got Spiritbox coming up for you bitches. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Oh my goodness. What a great song.
Dwayne's giving it a 6.5. Okay, I shall return, dear listener. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at Sori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. Child shall lead him. Actually,
To buy our merch.
you don't necessarily have to buy our merch. If you were a beautiful listener and you saw the commercial, you saw a little baby in this corner right here, that's because one of our friends... And you guys know how we love babies on the channel, Vin and Sori. We also believe in putting your money where your mouth is. So one of our friends is gestating a little peanut. Her sister reached out to me. She's like, Vin, I think you'll appreciate this, because me and her used to go back and forth all the time on issues relative to babies. So she goes, and she was on the other side, and she goes, I thought you'd appreciate this. She's like, my bad, it's only a peanut or whatever, but hey. And I said, but you know me, it's a baby. So anyway, she's got a baby registry. So we
I
would
just put the link in the description.
The link is in the description. We would encourage you to help out a single mama. And the cool thing is, you don't necessarily have to, like, if there's a stroller or something, you don't have to put up all the money. You can put up like $1 or $2 towards helping with the stroller, which I think is really, really cool in the Amazon baby registry. And also, if you make enough purchases or whatnot and I'll also put it in the comment section periodically throughout the song.
That's true, Vin. How sick. You put the baby in the corner?
If
hiccups, go away.
If, dear listener, you make purchases that equal, and by the way, congratulations, Village. We've got 11 of the 62 items purchased, and we've got until July 31st to
22
clear
weeks
it.
to go.
So we're already a fifth of the way there. So if you purchase enough to like equal 75 or above, and you send us a screenshot of that, we will actually do a song for you. So not that you're doing it to get the song, but you guys are beautiful people. Thank you so much. We already got a diaper bag for her, which we know is going to be great.
No, wait.
Somebody got a
That's 0 of 1 purchase.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Click on purchase.
Let me go to purchase. All right, relax. So we've got a lot of essentials for her already. Look at this: car seat cover, the baby organizer, yada yada yada. So anyway, check that out. Baby registry, and now the time has arrived. Spiritbox. The name of this song is, what's the name of this song?
The name of the song is Circle With Me.
Circle With Me, Spiritbox, and yes, Alan Thompson did his part.
So this song was the one that, so Chad had already put out some previous songs, and Florian loved the song by Imminence that was, the name of the song was Ghost, and so Florian was like, you know what, I loved that song so much that I want to buy that person a free song. So Florian paid for this song so Chad could have it, which I thought was totally awesome, and so here we go. Chad chose Spiritbox-Circle With Me as his song. Here you go.
That is all our village, the most generous people in the YouTube world.
And Chad picked this version because it's the live version, so we could see her in studio, which I saw one of her songs in studio was awesome. So
Yeah, she's killing shit right now. Okay, guys, here we go. Spiritbox-Circle with me. Let's do it. Oh, she's revving up.
Cut down the altar! Visionaire and deepest fake. Dirty gold, the colors change. Hands are frozen, feel no pain. I just wanna hold the flame. Negative feedback loop, I'm spinning out of control. The sickly sweetness is crushing me, but I wanna know if there's no heat when I escalate. The fire is cold, there you go. This could all be yours. Feel the weight of a motor. It could all be yours if you echo words of prayer. Treat it, cut down the altar. It could all be yours. Vulture circle in the flame. Nothing sacred, nothing lost. When birds of prey invade my thoughts, they promise I won't feel the pain. Not strong enough to hold the flame. Negative feedback loop, I'm spinning out of control. The sickly sweetness is crushing me, but I wanna know if there's no heat when I escalate. The fire is cold, there you go. This could all be yours. Feel the weight of a motor. It could all be yours if you echo words of prayer. Treat it, cut down the altar. It could all be yours. Vulture circle in the flame. I have the power of a dying sun. I climb the altar and I climb my voices good. Circle with me. Circle with me. Feel the weight of a motor. It could all be yours if you echo words of prayer. Treat it, cut down the altar. It could all be yours. Vulture circle in the flame. Feel the weight of a motor. A traitor, watching me as birds of prey never falter. It could all be yours. This could all be yours.
no, it's done.
Goodbye. Sayonara, she says. It's over. So sorry. It's over.
Okay, I don't have any clue what the words, the lyrics are about, so I'm very curious about that. Did you notice that when she did like one of her screaming, like yelling things, she like did put a little bit of singing in with it?
Yeah.
That was new.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I wish
That's
that I
good.
could spend like a couple of hours in studio with this person because I feel like she could push me to pop out of that shell I can't break out of.
Well, maybe things will be different for you in the studio. That guy that we just talked to, they finally got their studio set up. The guy in the sauna.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You've already heard his music. Did I tell you that?
Yeah?
I played some shit for you. I was like, what do you think of this? And you're like, yeah, that's good. I like it.
Oh, okay, good.
That was him. That was them.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
but what if I thought it was yours and I didn't want to make?
Huh?
I'm just kidding.
No, you didn't think it was mine. Because it's that kind of pop hip hop shit you like.
Oh, okay.
The singy shit. But you
know what I'm saying? Bitch shit.
Yeah, huh?
Bitch shit.
Yeah.
No,
okay. I mean it's the modern it's singy modern hip hop shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's a dime a dozen or whatever. But you liked it, so at least you're very, very good at mixing, which is something we're gonna need.
Good. Good.
Prices are pretty. So yeah, maybe
I really, really liked this.
Maybe you'll feel at home in the studio. I don't know what kind of studio setup they have. Like the last time I was in the studio, like you literally entered a booth. It was soundproof and everything. It was you in the booth.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have people in the booth if you wanted to, but you know, whatever. So yeah, maybe things will be different for you, because then what'll happen is they'll play it and then you can hear it back immediately. So you'll immediately get the feedback. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it'll be different for you. I don't know. Johnny's still faithfully here. Feel the weight of the martyr, cut down the altar, it could all be yours. Visionaire and deepest fake. Dirty gold, the colors change, hands are frozen, feel no pain, I just want to hold the flame. Negative feedback loop, I'm spinning out of control, the sickly sweetness is crushing me, but I want to know if there's no heat when I escalate, the fire is cold, they echo, this could all be yours. Feel the weight of a martyr, could all be yours if you echo birds of prey. Traitor, cut down the altar, could all be yours, vultures circling the flame. This seems to be like how she's handling the stardom that she's just found, I think.
Maybe. Nothing sacred, nothing lost.
Long
When birds
live
of
France!
prey
Go ahead, keep
invade
going.
my thoughts. They promise I will feel the pain not strong enough to hold the flame.
Yeah, it looks like it's a form, maybe like she's betraying herself. Because there's a flame, there's a martyr, so it looks
I
like
held the power of a dying sun. I climbed the altar and I claimed my place as God. Circle with me, this could all be yours.
Which it's kind of like...
So is she saying she goes up there, she claims her place as God, but then she finds herself martyred because that's what happens to a savior?
Well, I don't know. I think she...
Feel the weight of a martyr.
I think she split herself in two, because remember, she's saying, this could all be yours, which is this sort of Mephisto type, the devil basically telling you to sell your soul. Because when you say, like, this could all be yours, obviously it comes at a price, right? And so, it's feel the weight of a martyr, which would be, in this context, it looks to me like a witch being burned at the stake. She's put up on an altar, and they're talking about fire.
Yeah.
And it's saying dirty gold, the colors change, which is money. Right there, it says dirty gold.
Yep. So
it seems like there's this, and then there's the concept of traitor, being a traitor, that's in the song. So it looks like she's both characters. She's the person that's being tempted, and she's also the witch being burned at the stake, because her true self is the witch being burned at the stake, but then there's outside forces trying to get her to, sell out, as it were, with the dirty gold. But then in order to do that, she would have to set fire to the witch, basically.
Oh my goodness.
And then she says she says somewhere, she says she takes her place as God somewhere.
Yeah, at the very end.
I held the power of a dying sun. I climbed the altar and I claimed my place as God.
Yeah.
This could all be yours. So maybe she's saying she's gonna join her current self back with her witch self, and then burn and not sell out, basically.
I love her energy. I feel like, I guess probably this happens to like a lot of people. There's certain artists that you're like, when they're performing, you feel like you are like them and they're like you. You know what I mean? Like you kind of like this, her as an artist, when I see her performing her stuff live, anytime I see her in studio live, like I feel like a certain connection with her art and the way that she does it. Like there's I'm not saying that I could do what she does, but I feel like that energy that she puts out and that sort of, I don't know where she goes to when she's doing her music, but I don't know. I can relate to her.
I knew exactly when she was gonna get guttural with the screaming. Her eyes changed.
Oh, did they? I didn't watch her eyes.
It was a very interesting moment. It was a very interesting. I was like, oh, it's gonna get guttural. I knew it. And it was
cool. Oh, you put it back on?
Yeah, I'll put it back on. I'll show you.
Words of prey invade my thoughts. To hold the flame. Circles, vultures circled in the flame.
Get those freaking lyrical. Oh yeah. Yes, I saw her do that as well.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw her do that as well.
Like,
and it's funny because I didn't think guttural, which I said next level when I saw that part. Yep.
Yeah, like I was like, okay, shit's about to get it's about to get really, really dark. So yeah, I think it's very, very hard for especially a woman in this industry. God knows the kinds of. I mean, we know a couple women in the industry. One in particular that we talked to, and it's very. It's a brutal. I mean, it's a brutal industry regardless. But I just think now with the ubiquity of places like YouTube and Spotify and all these other things, like the things that you have to do to differentiate yourself now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And the things that these record labels probably tell people to do and all those other things, like, and then it says like if you speak with like a bird of prey, right? And she talks about vultures.
If you echo birds of prey.
Yeah, if you echo, which is something you do with your voice, right? So to me, that's like people are telling her what to do with her voice and all the rest of it, and she's a marginally attractive female. There's just so many different pressures that she has.
Oh yeah.
And so many different compounding voices in the metal world, like in the music world, it just must be a hell of a lot of pressure to, remain true to yourself. Because I think Sellout is a kind of a... And I also think, like, coming into Money, where she talks about dirty gold, the colors change. Like...
Yeah, that's got to be a whole...
That's the other part of it is the disillusionment with having a bunch of money or coming into more money than you've ever had in a very short period of time. You know what I'm saying? Like if you come into money, a lot of money in a very short period of time, like on the one hand, it's very exciting, but on the other hand, it's like, this is it. It's like Tom Brady after his first Super Bowl. He's like, is this it? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So,
plus, I would think that, well, we all know anybody that's part of the metal community is it's not like a group that is, it's not like it's a genre that's just widely accepted. And so she's probably been on this musical journey, and there's probably been a lot of judgment from people around her that, didn't think that this is the way to go or had judgments about her music. And then if all of a sudden she comes into Money, like, how people are with Money. Like I'm part of this art group, and this woman, okay, basically she said that her mother-in-law died, and when her mother-in-law died, the mother-in-law had said that all of her jewelry was going to go to her daughter, and the mother's son did not want that, so he took all the jewelry for himself. He took all the stuff that was of value and basically just gave the costume crap jewelry to the kid. And so the woman was like, she felt like the mama bear side of her come up because she's married into this family. So she felt the mama bear side of herself come up. So she went and she took all that costume jewelry, and I saved it so I can show it to you later. I don't know, maybe we should put it into this video. She created a tree with it, with the chains being like the base of the tree, and the big jewels being like all of it. And then she added like these little golden leaves. She put a little hummingbird. It was so cute what she did with it. And she basically said, like, the brother that took all of that jewelry, he's not going to wear the jewelry. So
right.
It's like he's going to sell it. He's not going to get any enjoyment off of that except for the money that he gets from it, which is not really going to. And then, like, you're kind of a shitty person for doing something like that. Like, you took all your mom's jewelry, not so it could stay in the family, but so you could sell it off and stuff.
Yeah.
And so she made this beautiful piece of art, and she gave it to the girl.
Rightful owner.
Yeah, and the girl was completely thrilled with it, totally in love with it, very grateful for it. And she said she's going to get to hang this up in her home, and she's going to enjoy the her grandmother's jewelry for, forever. Where that guy, it's lost. But people get really weird about money.
Well, they turn into vultures.
They do. So like, if you've been like, they were a vulture with you about your music and how they disagreed with it or whatever, and then this is like, especially if you're not like aware that there are females that do this type of vocal style. Like, you can imagine if you come from a small town and stuff, they're like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you come into money, and then all of a sudden people change, and now all of a sudden they want to be your friend, and they want to, you know how people are. So
I think that's the whole point of like the circle with me thing. Vultures fly around in circles,
right?
And they just wait.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They just wait.
Circle with me. This could all be yours. Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, what could be mine? A dead carcass? Right? Because it's kind of weird. It's like she would be dead inside, I think, if she went with what these people were doing. So they're like, they're saying it could all be yours, and she's like, yeah, the money's already changing colors. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much you say it, like that money's not going to buy you happiness. The problem is that you're in a capitalist environment. So it is true that money doesn't buy you happiness, but it certainly insulates you from certain kinds of misery. So, we just had a situation where a person was in, like, in my opinion, mortal danger, and they didn't fill their scripts because of money. You know what I'm saying? So it is true ultimately in a spiritual and even an emotional sense that money doesn't buy happiness. But when you're thrust into a capitalist context, you kind of have to have it to insulate yourself from the exigencies of life. And so because of that, people they get focused on the capital so much, and then when they get the capital, it's like, I'm still this, I'm still this. And then it also creates a different set of problems that you didn't see before.
Yep.
One of which is the circling vultures, and people always, asking you for money and all those things. And again, like the whole "this could all be yours" is also kind of like, you don't want this life. I was like, we were watching the Michael Jordan thing. I remember being a kid in the 90s, like, oh man, Michael Jordan, what would it be like to be him? And like the dude was trapped in a hotel, he couldn't go anywhere.
Oh my god.
Like if he was going to the movie theaters, he had to clear out the movie. Like, so like the way that all of us
people
felt,
just mobbing him everywhere.
all of us felt during COVID, like that's how he lived his 20s and 30s. That's how he lived. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until he stopped playing basketball for a decade where he could kind of walk down the street and have.
I bet it's.
He still can't.
Really.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he's like a legend all in and of himself. Like, to me, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but he's even bigger to me than Tom Brady because of where, like, he was the first of the gods,
he was really the first. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Brady
doesn't, like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not like a sports person, but Brady is like, I'm doing my thing. I'm good at what I do. But like Michael was like, I'm Michael. You know what I mean? Like it looked like to me like he accepted. Like he's still, even in that documentary thing, you could tell like he's still like.
Yeah. Well, the difference is that Brady, he won because like 2 of the Super Bowls he didn't even get the MVP award. Like. He's the greatest of all time in a different way that Michael was the greatest. Like, Michael was the greatest of all time because of him. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, Mike, he couldn't even. So that's the other thing is like, circle with me. It's like, do you really want this thing? Because now you're going to be this type of person that, everybody kind of looks like a vulture, and it creates this kind of paranoia or something where a person could genuinely just legit want to be your friend or whatever.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I don't know. It's a really, really good song.
Yeah.
What'd you give it?
Okay, so in my heart, I give her a 10, but I'm gonna go with a 9.2.
What do you mean?
Like, I connected with the song and like, but I don't think it's like a 10, but I feel like a 10 about it. But I think it's a 9.2 is what the score for the song is.
Oh, okay. I'm going to give this one an 8.5. Very, very good song. I'm not sure there was a lot of innovative guitar work. So
yeah.
that was part of the score for me. But
yeah, what do you think "hold the flame" means?
well, the flame is the fire that's going to be used to incinerate her. So I think that's the indecisiveness, because she talked about the flame being cold in her hand initially, and then as the song progressed, it got hotter and hotter, and then by the time you got to the bridge, she says, I hold the power of a dying sun or whatever, which is, I'm assuming, another way. So the flame starts cold and then it gets hotter and hotter, and I think that's just the decision, the internal struggle that she had with it, where she's starting to feel the ramifications of whatever decision she goes with, and then she ends up taking her place with the, with her old self or her authentic self, and, melding with herself. Because I think to overcome, it's one thing to be your authentic self, but to be your authentic self when you could be more successful being your non-authentic self and still overcoming that gets you to God status, I think, in her mind. You see what I'm saying?
I see. Yeah.
Because, for example, when I was in the hood and I discovered metal, I had this complete metamorphosis. I nail polish, all this type of shit, and corn patches, all type of. I was the only one doing it, only black kid doing it, and every day I got some comment, some type, sort of whatever, and it never really bothered me, because I'm like, I don't. I know for sure that this is what I'm about. You motherfuckers, I don't know what y'all are doing, and I don't think you guys know what you're doing. And it just, I was always still myself even before. But when you are yourself at a price, then it gets you to God status. So I think the flame, became hotter and hotter as the song progressed, to the point where she was holding the flame of a dying sun, basically, and she took her place on the altar, and she became a god. Because what happens when you get set on fire is that your essence goes up in smoke. Right. That's the entire, which gets you up to the heavens. And that was the whole point of the sacrifice, was that you would transfer your sins onto this beast, and then you would set it on fire, and then the fire, which would be the essence of you, would go up to God, and then God would accept it. So when the fire was the smoke was going up, you were being accepted by God, literally into the heavens. And so she takes her place on the altar, and she merges her current self with her authentic self, and then that sends her up to heaven, and she becomes the god in the flames the smoke of the whatever. That's how I interpreted that.
I like that breakdown.
Of course, it could just be, I'm overanalyzing it, but you know how I am with that. You know how I am with that. But it is a kind of power to be. It's like the gay kid who comes out to his Christian parents in Alabama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm not commenting on the morality of anything. I'm just saying, to be your authentic self and say, this is exactly where I am now, when your authentic self will be rejected and there's forces above your control that are more powerful than you, telling you not to be, is a different degree of power than just being yourself when there really isn't a cost for it, is what I'm saying. So,
yeah,
there you are, dear listener. All right, I gave it an 8.5 just because of the lyrical content alone. I thought there was a lot of depth in the lyrics. So there you go.
All right.
Good stream, short and sweet, dear listener.
Chad, thank you for this one. I was still feeling pretty sick today, so I'm like, oh no, and we gotta work, we gotta load up, we gotta do it. And I'm very glad that it was a song selection that I enjoyed every single song. That was a nice treat.
Yes, Pinky. Having said that, dear listener, then out.
Sorry, out.
Gone.